Yeah, it's Sunday. Hello, all you wonderful marks out there, and welcome to episode 122 of the F and Marks podcast. I'm Jay. And I'm Brainless Bob. And, WWE Fastlane is tonight. That's why we did the show Sunday morning. Yeah. On a freaking daylight savings day where we lost an hour of sleep, but hey, good times, man. At least the sun's going to be out later in the day now. So that doesn't make me feel any better. Right? Oh, look at this. Facebook feed is having some issues right now. Let's see if that thing gets back working. But anyway. We'll just keep on chugging away. Yeah. So, this morning, we're going with energy drinks instead of... The unofficial energy drink of the F and Marks podcast, the Ultraviolet Monster. This thing is like the greatest. Freaking love this thing. If God was to drink a energy drink, it would be this exact one. Exactly. And it's all your fault, by the way. You're the one that got me fucking hooked on these things, and which I'm okay with because they got rid of my favorite flavor of the Monsters, and I was kind of looking for a new one, and the green ones are just like. After a while, drinking the green ones, you just feel like a bag of dicks, and I was like, I'm good. Right. So, but this one is refreshing. It is delicious, and it's not very carbonated. It's not over the top. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, baby. Let's do it. But even though we're not drinking the 45, we got to represent F and Marks Hall of Famer Billy D. Williams up there.
Exactly what that meant, so I got found out for myself.
Because Billy D knows how to fucking roll, baby. Works every time. Yeah. Works every time. Woo!
Yeah. My taste of Colt 45. It works.
And after you have your Colt 45, make sure you have your
Bootium. They make sure.
You ain't booty. Yeah. Speaking of Lando Calrissian, I was actually at Target yesterday because I had to pick up a couple of things, some necessity things. I needed new razor blades and shaving cream. Haha, see what I did? And as I always do when I'm at Target, I always run over to like the Funko place and check out what the new Funkos and everything. They have a lot of freaking cabinet. Well, if you couldn't tell, we kind of have a lot of Funkos. There's a whole shit ton more in my room because I have an obsession. And there was 3 that really stood out that I almost bought yesterday. Yeah. They had Lando Calrissian, the GOAT from Star Wars. They had Al Powell from Die Hard. Yep. And one that I figured you would have a great appreciation for. Randy Watson. No, I wish. No, you'd think I would have came home with that one? I would have fucking bought that. I would have bought that shit. I would have ran home. Right. From Chesapeake. No, but they had Vince Neil. Oh. Batman. Sure. If they actually had that Vince Neil one, I would whatever it cost, I would pay it. Even if it was like $1,000, I'd buy that one. Right. If I had that kind of money. So, anyway, wrestling wise this week. Whole bunch of stuff going on right now. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about. The list of stuff that happened this week is just amazing. It's like it wasn't as like astronomical as the week we had like a couple 2 weeks ago, but it's pretty darn close. Yeah. Some exciting stuff, some crappy stuff, some. Very, very sad day stuff. Yeah. I feel like we should kick off with that. Yeah. So on Monday night, late Monday, early Tuesday, we had a passing of a should-be WWE Hall of Famer and a man who is very near and dear to my heart in the wrestling industry. We lost the legendary King Kong Bundy at the age of 61. Not really too much information has come out about like what happened and all that stuff, but for me, waking up and seeing that text message that King Kong Bundy had passed away is one of the worst things that you want to wake up to. I mean, obviously, as a wrestling fan, that's one of the worst things you could actually wake up to. And there's certain wrestlers like I'm not saying that it's not sad when specific wrestlers die or anything like that, but there's certain ones. Like I said, I hold near and dear to my heart more so than others. Yeah. And King Kong Bundy, I mean, hell,
I've been talking about King Kong Bundy since basically the second I met your ass.
Yeah.
And, I used to joke about this, and I was telling Jay, I was like, if I ever had an opportunity, I'm like, I would love to get in the wrestling ring. Just once. And I want to fight King Kong Bundy. And all I want to do is eat an avalanche, a splash, and get the 5 count. That's all I'd want.
Yep.
And my life would be complete, as sad as that sounds. And unfortunately, that will never happen, but not like I really thought it was going to, but it was just very sad. King Kong Bundy is one of those special individuals. He held the record for the quickest match in WrestleMania history, and he held that title for over 20 years. Before, I believe it was Kane beating Chavo Guerrero for the ECW title.
In 8 seconds.
In 8 seconds, beat his 9, even though it was technically 22. He went on the following year at WrestleMania 2 and battled battled Hulk Hogan inside a steel cage for the WWF Championship. And then at WrestleMania 3, he had the infamous match where it was him and 2 midgets going up against Hillbilly Jim and 2 midgets.
Little Beaver.
Where King Kong Bundy may or may not have killed Little Beaver.
Yes.
He did take a sabbatical from WWE, came back, and he returned in time to wrestle at WrestleMania 11 at the Hartford Civic Center in
Hartford, Connecticut.
Home of the 0-time NHL Stanley Cup champion Hartford Whalers at the time.
Yep.
And little did we all know and little did he know that there was a huge wrestling fan that was sitting on the floor about 20 some odd rows away from the ring, who actually got the opportunity, the honor, and the privilege to watch him perform against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 11. And that's all I really can say about King Kong Bundy. He was a larger-than-life individual. And my God, that was never a better way to describe a wrestler than that, especially of the size of King Kong Bundy. So that's my my things.
I don't know. For me, with Bundy, at least my wrestling memories, I remember when he was tag teaming with Big John Studd. They attacked Andre the Giant and they shaved off Andre's hair because Andre used to have that gigantic mop of hair, and they shaved his hair off. And I think that angle was supposed to write Andre off of TV, like, for a long time. And then he became part of, like, the Super Machines and what have you. And, like, he was retired, and obviously Vince eventually talked Andre back into wrestling. But beyond that, with Bundy, I mean, I used to have to go to my next door neighbor's house to.
That's awesome, Zen Phoenix.
And I would hang out with the guy next door who had had a stroke, and I would just be there to make sure, like, if anything happened, to call 911. Mm-hmm. They had like WrestleMania 2 on VHS. I wore that damn thing out. Every time I was there, I put in WrestleMania 2. They had WrestleMania 2, they had WrestleMania 3, and I think 4. Mm-hmm. I always put in WrestleMania 2. Like, that cage match with Bundy and Hogan was, like, I know, like, watching it now, it's not as great as I remember it, but, like, I dug that match. The build-up to that match was great, too, because they had the thing on Saturday night's main event where... I want to say it was in New York City or New Jersey. And I remember Danny DeVito was like in the audience for that. And that was the thing though, where Hogan went against, I think, Morocco for the title. And at the end of the match, Bundy came and, you know, gave him a bunch of avalanches, gave him a bunch of splashes, and Hogan broke his ribs. Mm-hmm. And they weren't sure whether or not he was going to be in good enough shape to wrestle the WrestleMania match.
That's when he had his ribs taped up inside the cage, and they put a lot of emphasis on that, kind of like what they do now. And it's funny you say that about the whole WrestleMania VHS, that you brought that up and everything. I remember back at West Farms Mall in West Hartford, there was a store called Suncoast Video. Yep. I know you know what that is.
Oh, yes.
And what they used to have was, they used to have all the old school WrestleManias on VHS. And at the time, I really wasn't making a shit ton of money, but I had a little bit of money, so I could go and buy like one. And I remember my cousin who I went with went and bought WrestleMania 3 on VHS, and I could pick any WrestleMania I could have picked. And I think like up to like at least 7 or 8, maybe 9 was all were all there on VHS. But I remember the one that I specifically wanted was WrestleMania 1 because of the fact that King Kong Bundy beat Special Delivery Jones in 9 seconds. That's the only reason I bought it.
Well, the other thing with Bundy, like the 5 count was like, that was great. Like I wish like
No.
5. I wish they would have let Big E fly with that when he came up to the main roster, because he did that when he was at NXT, and I think it would have been a cool homage. But the death of Bundy for me brings up a thing that I have long railed against.
22 seconds actually.
Yeah. Zen Phoenix. Bundy's match with SD Jones was 22 seconds, not 9, but yeah.
Just that match was 9 seconds, just like Giant Gonzalez was 8 feet tall.
But once again, WWE drops the ball with a Hall of Famer. Should be surefire Hall of Famer. And again, this is why last year I began my boycott of the WWE Hall of Fame. You have several people who are well deserving of a Hall of Fame induction, and they don't get in for whatever petty reason Vince McMahon has come up with. And I think these guys dying before they get their just due. It's not like, this might be a Hall of Famer. Vader is a Hall of Famer.
He's like the most.
Bundy, a Hall of Famer.
Rick Martel is a Hall of Famer. Davey Boy Smith is a Hall of Famer.
And
Demolition, absolutely Hall of Famers.
Lex Luger, Hall of Famer.
No.
Lex Luger is a Hall of Famer. The Steiners, even though
his bust was more over than he was.
The Rick and Scott Steiner, Hall of Famer. But speaking of the WWE Hall of Fame, they announced their newest inductee this week, and I'm going to say that nothing against Tori Wilson, congratulations, but you are now the bar setter for the women that are in the Hall of Fame. Like, I thought she was all right.
Yes,
but
she's absolutely she's hot.
Honestly,
oh God,
bless you.
Thank you. Oh.
What? Like, is Sable telling WWE I don't want to go in?
Appreciate that.
Sable definitely deserves to go in. China is going in, but she's going in as part of a stable. It's not just her. But
I mean, it's the same thing with Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson should have been in by himself, but they put him in with the 4 Horsemen.
And now that's probably not going to happen because they're. So speaking of the Arn Anderson thing, now that we have ADHD, and so one of the little tidbits I saw that actually came out about Arn Anderson was supposedly
the reason why he got fired.
Yes, it is. Arn Anderson supposedly let Alicia Fox into the ring while she was intoxicated, and Vince, because Arn was the person in charge overseeing everything, word got back to Vince. They had a shouting match, and that was the end of Arn Anderson.
Should be also the end of Alicia Fox, but who knows about that?
Yeah. I mean, she should be in charge of herself. It shouldn't be up to Arn Anderson to frickin' babysit her. I mean,
I understand why they did what they did, and I think honestly it's justifiable. I mean, that's a justifiable.
It is. I mean, Alicia Fox could have gone in there and hurt the person she was going against.
Yeah.
And
kind of like Nia Jax when she's sober.
Right. I see what you did there.
But anyway, since we were talking about the Hall of Fame and the admissions and everything like that, now that King Kong Bundy has passed away before he could actually get the nod into the Hall of Fame, I am now officially putting my stamp on, and I hate the fact that it took to this, but you know how I feel about King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
And especially because this year it was in New Jersey, it would have been a great year for him to have gone, and obviously it would have sucked if they had announced they were going to induct him and then he passes. But yes, now that King Kong Bundy has passed before he got into the Hall of Fame, I have now put my stamp of approval for my permanent ban on the semi-permanent ban of the
until
WWE
Chris Jericho
until Chris Jericho gets into the Hall of Fame, because that's going to be the greatest induction speech ever.
Yeah, I mean, I had slowly been souring on it year after year. Why do you think from the beginning I was like, Coco Beware, are you kidding me? But like, yeah, last year with Vader was like the final straw, and that, yeah, this is just another feather in the cap of like, F the WWE Hall of Fame and the cash grab that it is.
Until they put an actual Hall of Fame, I'm not going to lie. If they actually build an actual Hall of Fame, I'm going to go.
I would go to a physical Hall of Fame building. My boycott is on the Hall of Fame ceremony. And
just because I want to just go there and see like Andre the Giant's like hands, like oh my god, look at the size of his hands compared to mine and shit like that. I just because I'm a mark like that, and I would really appreciate that. Yeah. And I really do hope they put it in Connecticut, because it would give me an extra reason to go up there.
I wouldn't mind, honestly, and I guess this is a tidbit. They've talked about either putting in Connecticut or Florida. Mm-hmm. And one thing that did come out this week is the location for WrestleMania 36.
Yes.
Which will be in Tampa Bay, Florida. So,
home of the shitty-ass Tampa Bay Rays and the shitty-ass Tampa Bay Bucks. And
WWE Hall of Famer, brother.
I was going to say, and the NHL's leader in points and record, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who will probably get eliminated in the second round. They're going to pull a vintage Washington Capitals.
So I'm kind of psyched that they're going to Florida. Since things didn't work out for us this year, maybe next year. I mean, Tampa, it's not that it's a short drive, but it is a drivable trip.
And if we have multiple people, it's a little bit more tolerable.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm psyched by that.
Especially because because like you said, who lives in Tampa Bay? And who would be more inclined to actually go to WrestleMania next year if it's in his home city? And have the opportunity to him call it like... I don't know. I think it's Raymond James Stadium.
Joe Robbie Stadium.
Joe Robbie Stadium. The old sombrero. Brother. Or he'll just call it the
Tropicana Field, brother.
He'll call it the Silverdome.
Yeah.
Stupid asshole. I still love the fucking guy. It's going to take a lot for him to get knocked out of my Rushmore.
Right.
Steve Austin will never get knocked out of my Rushmore. It's going to have to take somebody of the magnitude of like a Ricochet or something like that to knock Hogan out. But there's other people like
Becky Lynch.
I could trim out of my thing. I already know who the first person I would drop out is if I were to alter my Rushmore. It would be a dead man.
Right.
So. But yeah, exciting news that they announced it in Tampa Bay. They did send down Roman Reigns for the announcement for WrestleMania in Tampa Bay. I thought that was really nice that they did that.
He's a Florida dude, so.
He is a Florida dude, so. Awesome. I'm glad they're doing it in Tampa Bay. So, WrestleMania 36.
2 more years after that, Iron Sheik will make it to the ring.
I hope to God he's still alive for that. And they freaking like drop him, like not like actually, like kind of do what the no. Because that's something Vince Russo would do, and what would happen with the Iron Sheik would fall to his death, and I would feel horrible, and then they'd be like, "You killed the Iron Sheik just like Vince Russo killed Owen Hart."
Yeah.
So I don't want that on my conscience.
Excited for that announcement, and obviously we're way away from that card, and no matter what, I'm sure it'll be a fun time.
I just can't wait for that to happen, because Hogan's going to be there, and the gender is going to be involved, and Hogan's going to do something where he can take like the tiniest of bumps and.
Right.
Oh my God! I just want to see Hulk Hogan.
Right.
One more time, brother.
All right. So another bit of news. JR actually came out officially this week and said he is not re-signing with WWE. He said he and Vince had some discussions, and they mutually agreed, like, hey, it's time to part ways. I mean, JR has more or less been there, not continuously, but 26 years. So, that's...
Since he made his debut at WrestleMania 9.
Yep. And JR doesn't seem upset about it, and I mean, lots of rumors out there. He is signing a big contract with AEW.
$1 million a year.
Not bad for. I mean, I think he will not just be an announcer. I think he'll be like a talent scout. I think he might help them as far as it might not just be scouting. He could be very well the person head of like talent relations type thing, because he was that position in WWE for a while. So I wonder if they're going to have him multifaceted. If they're paying him that much money, it's like, you know, dude's in his upper 60s and he says he still wants to be a play-by-play guy. AEW kind of said they wanted to skew younger, and I honestly, like, when I heard the news rumors, I was a little shocked that, like, you know, they're going to go for Jim Ross. I thought somebody like Matt Stryker,
who's actually really good, by the way.
Him and Vampiro together on Lucha Underground were great.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought they were a little bit different of a feel, a little bit different of a combo, and I thought they would go more for somebody or a team like that. But, I mean, I think JR could really go with anybody and do really well. Actually, I think he's worked with Stryker a couple times, so it's still possible Matt Stryker could be one of the
can't rule out Taz.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
Just because I would absolutely 100% watch it if it was JR and Taz. Just because JR would just sit there and talk, and then, you know, Taz would just chime in with you said it, JR.
Right. With the New York accent.
JR.
So, if rumors are true, I'd be interested to see how that goes down and what position he ends up with.
Yeah.
So outside of that, another thing that came in this week, Anderson and Gallows supposedly were offered pretty lucrative contracts for the next 5 years, and they declined.
They're going back to Japan. That's my guess, is that Japan really wants to bring them back. You know, Carl Anderson's wife is originally from Japan.
Hot Asian wife.
Yeah, his hot Asian wife. And I just see that the two of them going back to New Japan, because New Japan did lose a lot of talent over the last few months, you know, between Omega and Rhodes and the Young Bucks. And they really, and Hangman Page, and they just really need to, like, recoup some of that talent. And, you know, Anderson and Gallows, who have some of the name recognition, would come in there and immediately be like impact players for them. So that's what I ultimately think the two of them are going to do. They're going to go back to Japan. It's a shame. They got booked so poorly, and everybody was, you know, there was a lot of hype behind those two when they came in around the same time as Styles and everything, and then just WWE just went, oh.
It's the whole thing that they've done with the tag division, where it's like these start-stop pushes. 1 week they decide that they really want to make tag team wrestling be relevant again, and then like a week or two later, I'm bored. Let's move on.
It's mostly, like, honestly, it's mostly on Raw. They've booked the tag team division on SmackDown so much better, because I think that the Road Dogg might be one of the people behind that, because if you think about it, he was part of one of the greatest tag teams in WWF history.
Yeah.
And, you know, they do it right, you know, and Anderson and Gallows is kind of like how they really, really pissed a lot of people off. I know they triggered you pretty well when they were the tag team champions, and they went on a 2-on-1 handicap match with Roman Reigns, and he beat them clean. You know, just stop me if you've heard that before, where the tag teams are just getting poorly booked in a way that they shouldn't be booked.
And the thing with Anderson and Gallows, they could wrestle, and they could cut promos, and, like, they had a cool look, and their music is fucking awesome.
No,
I fucking love their...
I look like Carl Anderson, for crying out loud.
Yeah, out of shape Carl Anderson.
You know, like Walmart brand Carl Anderson.
But
I could be
everything with Anderson and Gallows, they botched them from the beginning. And, like, you know what? A couple of years ago, Anderson did like an interview where he's like, "Oh, if Talent Relations gave me like a lifetime contract, I'd love to be with WWE for the rest of my life." I mean, if that doesn't tell you that, like, right now how frustrated they are with how they've been booked in artistic and creative direction of their characters. I mean, they're offered a substantial contract, and they're like, "Nah, we're good." Now, I'm not 100% on board with them going back to Japan. I mean, I definitely see that as a possibility, but I think when Anderson moved to the United States, like I think he and his family uprooted everything, brought it here with the idea that they were going to stay here. So I'm going to say that AEW is definitely going to be a player. They also could decide like, well, we're going to do the independents for a while and see what the hell comes of it. I mean, they could, do like Cody did for a while, where he did shots in Ring of Honor, did shots in New Japan, but with the landscape of the wrestling industry right now, you have all these folks becoming free agents, and good for them getting offered crazy contracts, and because those guys put their bodies on the line, and the ladies out there put their bodies on the line. They should get paid, and paid well for that.
Speaking of people whose contracts are expiring soon, that's actually not on the whiteboard. It actually came out this week, a few days ago, that AJ Styles, there's been a lot of speculation of what AJ Styles is going to do, and from what the industry has been saying, like backstage and everything, and it got back to Dave Meltzer, AJ Styles is going to be staying with WWE.
Right.
He's going to get the new contract, and
he's going to get what he wants.
He's going to get exactly what he wants. He's going to be financially taken care of, and the word around is that he never even considered AEW. He never even considered it. He said that at this point in his career, he likes the stability of being in WWE, so he's probably going to finish his career in WWE.
Well, I mean, think about it. When they say if you're getting into the stock market, yes, it's exciting to do a startup, and yes, you could possibly get very rich from going to a startup. But you know what the chances of those succeeding are?
Right.
Not always that great. But if you get into the stock market and you invest in Coca-Cola or Disney, guess what's going to happen? You'll probably make money nice and slowly, because guess what? Those places are never... It'll take a long time for any of those to go out of business. So WWE is that for professional wrestling. So you know that you're going to get paid. You're going to be on the biggest platform, professional wrestling wise, in the world. And, at this stage in AJ Styles' career, he probably has a handful of years left and wants to maximize how much he can make and be in the most comfortable place he could be.
And I think he's going to get like the schedule he's looking for, so he can spend more time with his family. And I'm really happy for AJ Styles. I know I've been trying to find reasons to watch AEW, and obviously when it comes out, I'm going to dedicate more time to AEW and everything.
Right.
But I think it really is what's best for Styles, because if they let Styles go, SmackDown would become a little bit less watchable, and WWE as a whole product, it would be less watchable. And obviously with them having their new deal with Fox happening in September of this year, they need a big time player, and right there is basically, there's your what's a good example of what he would be? It's like I guess you could say he's the Bryce Harper's a terrible example. He's like the Mookie Betts of the WWE, just a much older version of Mookie Betts.
Right. Well, and I guess this feeds into a little bit of something I think we've been seeing on WWE TV, and we'll get in this a little bit more, is it seems like, I'm not going to say the brand split's going away, but we're seeing a lot of blurring of the lines, and sometimes they do this for WrestleMania season.
Yeah. I mean, they did it last year, if you think about it, because Asuka was on Raw, won the Royal Rumble, and challenged for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Now, I get stuff like that. I mean, and they've done the thing with John Cena, where Cena was on SmackDown, and then he goes away for, like, what was it, like a month?
A couple months.
And then, like, I'm a free agent, I'm just going to go wherever I want. But even so with that, like...
It doesn't matter, it's not like we can see him anyway.
Sure. But I'm wondering if what they're going to do to have a strong beginning with Fox is if they're going to, I don't know, if completely nix the brand mix or the brand split, or maybe that's when they do the Superstar shakeup. They wait until September. I know they've talked about doing it like soon, but I'm wondering if they'll have another one then to try to change things up. So... Should be interesting though.
Yeah, they did say they're going to do it like right after WrestleMania, and that every wrestler and every brand of WWE is not safe
Everybody,
from it.
yeah.
Basically, everybody's available to any show. If this was their way for them to put Pete Dunne on the main roster, my God, that's gonna be my mark out moment of the year. And sorry, Roman, I'm sorry, but you can't not have your best wrestler on your biggest shows. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Well, I mean, Pete Dunne seems complete. Pete Dunne, similar to Tommaso Ciampa, seems like, no, I want to build up this brand. Like, he wants NXT UK to be, as big as like what NXT's become. And I think for him, his ideal would be he'd be there for another few years before he goes to the main roster. But he's
still really young.
Oh, yeah, he's like, what, 26?
24 years old or 25 years old?
I think
Hold on, I'm on it. Let me check real quick.
He's 25 or 26. But anyway, with that...
Alexa, how old is Pete Dunne?
Pete Dunne is 25.
25. All right, Pete Dunne's 25 years old.
He'll be 26 in November.
So Pete Dunne has many years, assuming no catastrophic injuries.
Yeah.
Many years left. He did an interview where he says he wants to build up NXT UK, and he definitely, would prefer to do that before he goes to the main roster. But he said if he gets called to the main roster, he's not going to say no.
Yeah.
So
I know he has a young kid at home. I think he has a infant child.
Oh yeah, less than like 6 months old.
Yeah, and I think that's probably playing a little bit of a role in that too.
Yeah.
But he knows where he's at, and he is really the prime example of somebody taking an opportunity and running with it, and taking the best from that opportunity. Because I remember the UK tournament. I was actually talking to my friend Corey about this last night. I said, when they did the first UK tournament and they had Tyler Bate win it, I said, you know what? I'm like, the guy who stuck out to most of everybody was Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne basically was this guy who was in this tournament. He looked, and like, it was a joke, like, haha, he looks like William Regal. And, well,
his tights look like William Regal. He doesn't look like Regal that
much. He could pass his William Regal's kid.
I don't think so.
He could look a little bit more like his brother, but he has William Regal.
He looks like
Regal, he has the Regal hair too. I'm like, come on.
He looks like Rhea Ripley, let's be honest.
And I just remember after like the first day of the tournament, and then they did the rest of the tournament the next day, like at the end of it, he basically beat the shit out of, I think it was Danny Burch. I want to say it was Danny Burch.
No. Burch lost to some other dude and split his head open.
In the ring. I remember that. Yeah, you're right. Pete Dunne, was it
whatever it was. Whatever.
But he beat the shit out of him. He established himself out there. He made a character of himself because nobody knows like what are these guys' faces or these guys' heels. It's like we don't really know what they're gonna do. And Pete Dunne kind of did that. He kind of went out there and he made a character of himself. And he made himself the bad guy. He was the ultimate heel of the tournament, which led to him and fucking, hey, I'm Tyler Bate. I'm 19 years old. My mommy's going to pick me up after I win the UK championship.
Right.
And which led to ultimately they had a good match in the finals, which led to them having a 5-star match at
They had
NXT
several
TakeOver.
5-star matches, and they had the rivalry of the year 2 years ago, in my view.
And they had the match of the year from us 2 years ago as well, from their NXT TakeOver in Chicago.
Right.
And Pete Dunne knows. He's at to the point now where he's so goddamn talented that everybody fucking loves him, and he knows it. And I think WWE also understands that and knows that too. So
I don't see Pete Dunne moving ship. But speaking of somebody who's the top dog in the brand, Tommaso Ciampa this week had neck fusion surgery, and initial reports, like rumor-wise, were saying he'd be out 6 to 14 months. Then I saw another thing later this week saying they were expecting 3 to 6 months. I don't know. If I were him, just based off of what happened to Edge. Well, I mean, Edge ended up retiring, but I'm talking specifically people who like had it in like Chris Benoit was out, I think, for 14 months. Steve Austin was out, I think, for like 9 months. Like, I would take as much time as you can because, I mean, your neck, like, you're doing so many bumps. heal.
Let
yourself heal.
There's two things in this world you don't fuck with. You don't fuck with your brain, and you don't fuck with your spine. That's basically your neck all the way down to your fucking tailbone. You don't fuck with that shit.
So I'm glad that it was a successful surgery, but please, for the love of God, Ciampa, be 100% when you get back.
Don't rush it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
NXT will still be there when you get back.
Goldie will still be there when you get back. And I'm wondering what they're going to do with that title now. I would imagine they're going to have some sort of tournament or some sort of thing. Maybe Regal announces, like, all right, we're going to have Johnny Gargano versus the Velveteen Dream, or we'll have Adam Cole,
Adam Cole, baby!
Versus Johnny Wrestling at NXT in New York.
Or we could get Johnny Gargano versus Bro.
I don't think so, based off of storyline, what they did on NXT.
I'm throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
Well, I mean, obviously they have to change plans because the original plan was him going against the Velveteen Dream.
You know what would be the greatest thing? Is if they actually put the title on Cassius Ohno, the man who hasn't won at NXT TakeOver, and they let him win at NXT TakeOver New York, and then like 3 nights later at the regular NXT, he drops the belt immediately right after. Kind of like with Dolph Ziggler when he won the the Money in the Bank type of thing.
Right.
He won it like right after WrestleMania when the crowd is still hot from that.
Right.
Because they still tape in advance all like a couple of weeks of NXTs during the takeover. So.
Codebreaker, I mean, we got into that a little bit earlier. He asked about what's up with Alicia Fox. I mean, anytime you go to work and you're drunk and, it's just a bad look. And to me, like, it's a sign that you've got a problem. If you can't stay sober for work, I hope she gets whatever help she needs, and, good luck to her, and yeah. So we shall see what happens with Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
She doesn't get on TV very much, and maybe this will be her being future endeavored shortly. So
my guess is that they'll probably put her in, like, if they do the women's battle royal like they did last year, she'll be like one of the first ones eliminated, and then she gets eliminated from the company.
Codebreaker, Naomi did not have alcohol in her system. Her husband had alcohol in his system. They were just pulled over, and because it smelled like alcohol in the car, she got a field sobriety test, which she passed. So,
and it was because she was driving down the wrong way in a one-way street.
And Detroit is a very, very confusing city to drive in. I understand accidentally. That's how I can Detroit's
understand. I'm just saying I can understand
just
because I know how Hartford is. Hartford's a pain in the balls.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hartford's a pain in the balls, and I understand how that works with the fucking one-way streets. I mean, hell, I went to, when I was driving through, I think it was Brooklyn in New York. I mean, that was a fucking pain in the ass. And I can understand. I got lost one time driving my buddy to, I forget where it was, either the Brooklyn, the Bronx, somewhere like that, but it was like a bunch of one-way streets, and I got fucking lost, and I was going around in circles trying to get back on the highway, and I started crying, and all of my friends were like, ha, you're crying, you're a bitch.
So, Naomi didn't get into any trouble. Her husband got into a little bit of hot water, but nothing too bad. Yeah. That's right, Jimmy.
GTL.
Yeah.
Gym Tan Laundry.
So, anyway, for those of you new to the show, make sure you like us on all platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, or YouTube at the FN Marks. And on Facebook, we do our show live on Daily Wrestling Entertainment. So make sure you like that page if you're into that. I mean, on our Facebook page, I'll post things throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll live tweet with shows. And, with YouTube, I've been trying to get little snippets and put them up. I tried this week so much so to get, I wanted to do Laugh versus Laugh. Who had the better one, Jim the Anvil Neidhart or the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase? And I wanted to put their laughs back to back, but I tried for an hour and a half, and my computer, which normally does a good, solid job of doing what I need it to do, decided it did not want to. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the app that I've been using, which has never had this problem before, or if it's something else altogether.
I got another one for you if you're actually up to it. How we could compare and who sounds more menacing, the Black Scorpion or the Shockmaster?
They can be tight. So anyway,
it's like that episode of The Office where Pam brings in the two pictures to Creed, and she's like, "There's 7 differences," and he's like, "I already know it." She's like, "It's the same picture." So that'd be the same thing. Like it's the Shockmaster and it's the Black Scorpion. They're the same voice.
You just ruined it.
Oh, I ruined it. Oh well. Oh, what do you want me to do? I fucked up.
So, all right. So yeah, Tommaso Ciampa out. Hopefully he'll be back and better than ever, just like he did from the knee surgery. So, yeah. All right. So maybe I could add Kawhi Leonard's laugh to this. So little Jimmy asking me to possibly add Kawhi Leonard. All right.
Why not?
Let's see if I can find. Again, I need to get my damn my app to work correctly to download this stuff so I can cut them together.
Like if we were doing this, it'd be like if we were like, who has the greatest what? Is it Stone Cold Steve Austin or is it manager Lou Brown?
What?
What?
Yeah, but that's the thing. We want people to tell us who they think is better. You know,
What?
There's nothing wrong with that.
And we can throw Little John in there.
Anyway,
Speaking of Little Jimmy, this is a hell of a segue.
yeah.
So R-Truth this week issued another U.S. Open challenge for the United States Championship. And my God, he has been fucking magnificent since he won the U.S. Championship. He goes, I'm going to do exactly like my
hero growing up.
My hero growing up as a child, John Cena. And people are like,
aren't you older than John?
R-Truth's got Cena by like 6 years. And it's fucking funny as shit. And it's like he comes out there and he goes and issues the challenge, and then Samoa Joe's music hits and he's got that look on his face, and then Rey Mysterio's music hits and he's got this look on his face, and then Almas's music hits and he's got that look on his face, and just look at his face because it's a fatal four-way for the U.S. title. And he's like, God damn. Of course, if I was him, if I had made fun of him like I made fun of Kevin Owens, I don't think he would have been mad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Damn you, John Cena."
Oh, I mean, R-Truth, he's a treasure.
He's a treasure.
He is a treasure. I mean, the guy's in his upper mid-40s right now. I hope he goes for another 10 years. Like, even if they just have him doing comedy bits.
Yeah.
I mean,
Have him become
he's so damn good. It's so damn entertaining. One thing though about going into this match for me was the crowd just absolutely eats up Samoa Joe. Like when his music hits, you hear how loud that Joe. Please, for the love of God, do not make him a face. Just keep him how he is. If the crowd cheers for him, great, but don't make him do stuff as a face, because I think this is just the perfect Samoa Joe, the ass kicker who sells Girl Scout cookies, and that's his damn block. Don't take his block.
Oh, man. That's why I'm a little disappointed we're not going to WrestleMania this year, because 70,000 people chanting Joe. Joe. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, between that and possibly like Ricochet coming out, I'd probably lose my mind.
Yeah. You know, Jimmy, him being on the main roster for a couple of, years, and this is finally his first main roster title. I mean, I know they want to slowly build these guys, but there were a couple of times where I thought, like his feud with AJ Styles, I felt Joe deserved to get the title.
I felt he deserved it when he was fighting Brock Lesnar, because I was like, if anybody could actually go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar and give him a fight, it's Joe. Which is funny that you say that about people who've been here for 2 years and don't have titles, because I've been here for over 2 years and I have a title. Yeah, I'm the World Heavyweight Champion.
And Jimmy, what you said is actually a wonderful segue. So R-Truth doing his thing, talking about how, his hero growing up was John Cena. Samoa Joe, after he won the U.S. title, made some kind of disparaging remarks about the leader of the C Nation, John Cena, and I'm pretty sure that is who we are going to see Samoa Joe face at WrestleMania. Is this going to be another year of a U.S. champion getting buried by the John Cena at WrestleMania, though? That's honestly, that is my big question. I'm going to say, my guess right now is no. I think Samoa Joe will win this match. I don't know if he'll win it cleanly, but if he was able to, I'm not going to say that John Cena will never tap out, but if Samoa Joe chokes him out with the coquina clutch where he just
passes out,
I could possibly see something like that as an ending to a match. But I kind of want to see it, but I don't want a Rusev level burial.
I don't want a Bray Wyatt level burial either.
Right. But yeah, R-Truth has been on fire. Samoa Joe has been on fire. Like, honestly, there's a lot of people on SmackDown that have been on fire.
Daniel Bryan,
yeah.
Kofi Kingston.
I mean, and the return of Mustafa Ali, the crowd went pretty nuts for him. So.
Really? I thought it was a little bit differently because it seemed like their reaction wasn't as like if Kofi Kingston had come out and gotten to save, that place would have fucking the roof.
Oh yeah, but they needed to reintroduce Ali, and it was a way to put him into the storyline.
And they have the New Day over, I think, in India promoting WWE again, too.
Yes.
My God, I hope he gets his moment.
Well, and I think part of the thing with WWE in India is they're opening a performance center out in India, I think, pretty soon, and they're going to have tryouts and what have you.
I can't wait for
Great Khali is going to be the head coach out there, I think.
You took that away from me. You took it away from me, Jim. Why did you take that away from me? Oh, I was going to say, but great. It's going to be the Great Khali's going to be like the #1 teacher there, too.
Hey, you know what? He's great.
WrestleMania 37, India, collision course.
Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yep. Your favorite theme song. Your favorite theme song. You love this one. On a somewhat related note, so I watched that Roman Reigns Chronicle on the network, and you know who I saw? Like, I knew that he was a guy behind the scenes and
he is not in the
creative.
Hall of Fame. I don't know how you can put the Great Khali in the Hall of Fame.
But
I mean, they put Drew Carey in, so anything's possible.
But they, a guy who was on creative, who I thought I heard got fired a few years ago, who I saw in the background during the Roman Reigns video, was the former manager of the Great Khali and his brother, I think, Rajan Singh.
Oh, Rajan Singh, oh yeah.
He was actually in the video background with Roman Reigns. I was like, oh, all right.
Lord, Mike Adam Lee. Oh, I pulled an Adam Lee.
Yeah, an Adam Lee special. So, that Fatal 4-Way was a lot of fun. That was a good, fun match, and it's, continued the Rey Mysterio Andrade
they're having a match tonight.
feud. Yep. Hey, you know what? Honestly, if you're just looking for pure wrestling match, like
that's
incredibleness, like they could put these guys on every pay-per-view for the next 10 years, and I'd be like, I know that they're gonna have a great match. They'll have great chemistry. Yeah. So
I'm just sad to see R-Truth no longer as United States champion, even though Samoa Joe winning it is still fantastic because Joe deserves it. Joe deserved the Universal Championship. Joe deserved the WWE Championship. And at least he's going to get a title, kind of like what they did with Nakamura.
Yeah.
Where Nakamura didn't get the WWE title when he was pretty much on fire and ready to take the title. And then Vince was like, oh, well, you can't speak English, so no.
No, I speak English.
It is what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Nakamura went back to Japan because he's getting booked so poorly. That and the fact
I don't know if there's as many water towers or as many places to surf.
Yeah.
So.
What are you talking about? Japan's an island.
I know, but like it's a small island. The United States is gigantic.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
I can't wait till he surfs in freaking Virginia Beach. When he posts that,
Yeah.
goddamn well, I'm hopping in my car and driving down to the beach.
Yeah, Nakamura is on pay-per-views and pre-show. No, not. Although I think tonight his match might be pre-show.
Does he even have a match?
Yeah, him and Rusev versus New Day.
What? That doesn't even make any sense.
New Day found out about it online. They were in India. They weren't even told about it.
What the fuck?
That's the crap going on with WWE right now.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I
Yeah.
don't have words for that. Whatever. I guess
Yeah.
that's cool. At least Rusev is getting on a pay-per-view. So that means today's Rusev Day. And he wrestles on Rusev Day.
Damn straight.
3-time United States champion Rusev.
Yeah. One other thing that was interesting this week, and it got a lot of people freaking fired up. Ronda Rousey cut a video together.
Oh boy.
And the thing with it, it definitely felt like it looked like it was like a shoot video. It's WrestleMania season, people. She has to be a heel. It's a complete work. Her saying that, fuck the WWE Universe. I mean, they see...
That wasn't very PG of her, by the way.
No, but you know what? This is one thing they've actually gotten right as far as like building up Ronda versus Becky, which apparently is going to include Charlotte. And we will get into that crap soon.
I'm not doing it today because it's just I'm upset.
The thing with Ronda in this video, I mean, after she beat the hell out of Becky on Monday Night Raw, and now just kind of crapping on everybody, and you know, kind of I think saying things are fake, and supposedly there are some folks saying like, yeah, Becky legitimately got under Ronda's skin because Ronda was talking like, oh, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you for real. Once we.
She had to be, obviously she had to be calmed down and everything, even though she was getting under her skin because, I know, and everybody knows that if Ronda Rousey really wanted to, she could fucking kill Becky Lynch.
She could probably kill most of the men on the roster too. Just
Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Brock Lesnar would eat her and shit her out. But you know who wouldn't kill her? Holly Holm.
Right.
Just kick her in the face. Sorry.
Yeah, Ronda, I mean, cut this video where I don't need the WWE, fuck the WWE Universe. It's just to get people even more pissed off at her. Again, WWE, the most over person on the roster is Becky Lynch. You need your most over person to go against your biggest heel.
I would say she's the second most over person on the roster. Otis Dosovich is number one.
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely Becky Lynch. I know. I just wanted to bring up the dozer. Pretty lady!
Hey, we could talk about the dozer after, but you know, the way that they're building this storyline, I dig what they're doing. Again, I don't see the need. I don't think they didn't need to insert Charlotte in this match.
Somebody brought up a good point that the reason why WWE put Charlotte into this match was just in case somebody got hurt between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. They have Charlotte Flair in this match so it could still be a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. They did it for that's what they're claiming is the reason why they put her in the match. I think it's because of the fact that she's Ric Flair's daughter, and this is them.
No, stop with that. Stop with that. We've disproven that several times.
That and the fact that she is the female Roman Reigns, and it's like, yeah, well,
yes, it would.
Obviously,
Jimmy,
the only way
it would
work. The only way it would work better is if they put Roman Reigns in the women's match with Ronda and Becky. Let's just put Roman Reigns in that.
Jimmy, and that's one thing I want to bring up is they said, oh, well, if Becky Lynch wins this match tonight on Fastlane, that she's going to be inserted in the match again between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. It's like, wait a second, who is the one who won the Royal Rumble? She was suspended, but the suspension was taken off, so she should get her title shot back.
Yep, that's exactly
and
what it is.
And no matter what, Becky should be in the match, but they're doing, booking-wise, they're doing this just to make her be the underdog in this match. Mind you, we have 2 SmackDown women going for the Raw Women's Championship. What fucking sense does that make?
You know, you told me that I had to stop using creative as my brain.
No, you can't. No, tell me something specific. You could say creative and you could say booking, but you need to be specific.
I got something
you need to
really
be specific.
good for my fucking my brain list this week. Don't you worry. But that's what it is. It's every week. I would say every week it's fucking WWE booking because they do something.
But no, you can't say generic booking. You need to say what part of the booking is stupid, because it's not stupid for everything. The stuff they're doing for Kofi is on point.
Yes.
The stuff they're doing with Daniel Bryan's on point. You can't say booking. You have to say something specific about this stupid booking.
But like you said, the 2 biggest stars on SmackDown Live are fighting for the Raw Championship.
Well, don't say WWE booking. Say WWE booking for this instance.
And I mean, not that it's terrible, because now women on SmackDown Live wouldn't be getting this opportunity because you have the female Roman Reigns and the Irish Lass Kicker basically fighting for the Raw title. So you have women that are on SmackDown getting opportunities that they wouldn't. I.e., like Mandy Rose tonight getting the chance to fight Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship.
If you want to talk about bad booking, let's look at Asuka since the Royal Rumble. That's been a bunch of bullshit. She had the best match on the card with Becky Lynch. She won the match, and Becky's the one getting the bigger opportunity. Now, Becky is more over, but like Asuka was doing fine, and then we're not going to put our SmackDown Women's Champion on TV. You know, it's like, really?
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck? And I understand from the perspective of WWE, we're like, well, Raw gets more ratings, so we need to have more eyeballs on this feud. And it's like, but you have a brand split. Why don't you tell them, hey, you need to tune in tomorrow to SmackDown to see this stuff? If, Becky Lynch, I get why she could kind of flip-flop, because guess what? She won the Royal Rumble. And she said, yeah, I'm going for your title.
My eyes are always on
I
Mandy Rose too, Jimmy.
I get that. But, having her and Charlotte go for the Raw Women's Championship, stupid.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
And the only reason for me to see this as a triple threat match is they don't want Ronda or Becky to eat a pin. So
then what they'll do is they'll insert the female Roman Reigns and have her eat the pinfall, which makes no sense. It's going to end in a triple count out somehow, some way.
No. They'll have Charlotte eat the pinfall because they're like going, you know what? It's not going to impact her one way or another. She's still way over as a bad girl. So, like if John Cena eats a pinfall at WrestleMania against Samoa Joe, or he gets choked out, how does that impact John Cena? He's still main event if he wants it. Just like at this point, for me, Charlotte Flair, she doesn't need to have that moment. She could be in the match and take a pinfall, and...
That's a really good point too, Jimmy. That is a really good point. What happens if Nia Jax had busted Becky's face up and she fought Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series instead? Like, would we be getting this match?
We probably wouldn't be.
But I mean, it's just like
that's how it happens.
She's just fucking caught on fire at the right time, and she's been money. She deserves to be one of the top paid performers in WWE as well, because she's just been.
I wonder what her contract situation is right now, and I know that her next deal, she will get a better deal. Obviously,
she'll probably be the second highest paid woman in WWE if Ronda is still there at that time.
Right.
Because Ronda will get paid more. But she's due for a huge bump, and she's got to be one of the top selling T-shirts too, and everything.
Yeah.
So, because Jimmy did say something about tonight's match between Asuka and Mandy Rose, and I actually wanted to chime in on that once we do our predictions for that, because I have a theory on some of the things that we're going to build towards WrestleMania starting tonight, because this is the last actual pay-per-view before
the show of shows.
So we're going to get a lot of things built towards WrestleMania starting tonight. Obviously, we already have, like, you know, the women's championship for Raw. We already have slow lane. We already have Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We're going to get a lot more matches. Obviously, Daniel Bryan's going to have a match. They're probably going to put at least one of the tag team titles on the line. At least one, if not both.
It looks like we're going to get AJ Styles against Randy Orton.
Oh,
possibly.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, please. Please, God, please give me that. That's what I want. I want that match. I want that match almost as bad as I wanted Nakamura and AJ last year.
Right.
Because those two are going to steal the show this year.
I thought up until recently, I thought we were going to get Samoa Joe and Randy Orton, which I would have been completely on board with that. But I'm on board with AJ Styles and Orton. So
think about that. In 3 of his 4 WrestleMania matches, AJ Styles will have fought Chris Jericho, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Randy Orton. Obviously,
and Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon in there, but like,
hey, Shane McMahon, like,
he could still go. Yes, I know.
His punches look terrible, but like he has had like match of the night. See, it hurts more than you thought.
Oh, God damn, that hurt.
The brainless one is going to get himself injured here.
I wouldn't be a first.
Yeah. Shane is a rock'em sock'em robot. Damn straight, man. You're on fire this morning, Jimmy.
Woo, Jimmy. You know what it is? He's putting.
Or I'm sorry, this afternoon feels like morning.
Jimmy's putting in that effort because he has been on for a while, so he has to make up for lost time.
Yeah. So yeah, we had that. I mean, I guess we could get into. Would you rather get into the stuff that led into Fastlane this week, or do we want to briefly touch on like Dusty Classic?
We can talk about the Dusty Classic real quick.
All right. So NXT this week was almost entirely devoted to the Dusty Classic, outside of one short segment with the Velveteen Dream and the Ultimate
Bro Chacho.
Oh, I'm sorry, the original
Bro Chacho.
Bro. Yeah.
I'd like to smoke with Matt Riddle.
I think it would be a good time. It would be a good time. I have it in my notes. All right, so we had Aleister Black and Ricochet going against Fabian Aichner and
Marcel Barthel.
Yeah.
Solid match. I thought it was the best match of the first round matches in the tag team. They were all great, though. I'm not going to discount any of the other 3 matches.
Well, I'm going to discount one of them.
I thought they were.
I'll talk about it.
That's fine, but I wasn't disappointed in any of the matches. Personally, I wasn't disappointed in any of the matches. Some of them definitely stood out more than others. Like that one definitely stood out more. That was the best match of the night on Wednesday for NXT. And to no surprise, the makeshift tag team of the Ricochet and Aleister Black goes over on Barthel and Aichner. So we'll see what happens with that.
Well, and the thing with Black and Ricochet, I mean, they're having a match. They have an opportunity at Tag Team Championships tonight, so they have to win. Like, they had to win this week.
Yeah. Just
like on SmackDown this week, they had to win. But, yeah, it was a, good, fun match. The right team went over here. So they've advanced.
Yep.
So they did all of the quarterfinal matches. Next week they're going to have the semifinals, and the finals will be at TakeOver.
Yes. No. Well, it's not be at TakeOver. The winner of the
will go against the War Raiders at TakeOver.
That's like you win a tournament and then you run into a bandsaw. Like, congratulations on winning the tournament. Here's a bandsaw.
Yeah.
A bunch of War Raiders.
Right.
That look like Vikings.
Who I think might have they may once again have the best entrance, and it might be all of WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, it's not.
I mean, obviously, Triple H is going to come up with something.
Well.
For his match. All right. So for me, this match coming up that we're going to talk about, for me, was actually terrible. Forgotten Sons go against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now, there were a lot of nonsensical bullcrap going on with this match, where, like, literally you see Oney Lorcan busted in half, and what's Danny Burch do? He tags him in. And it's like,
oh, that's
why
right. I forgot
are
about
you
that.
doing this?
Wait,
and it happened like 3 or 4 times. It's like, the guy's hurt. You're actually in okay shape. Why are you tagging this guy in?
I forgot about that. Like when
that happened so many times. I'm like,
my favorite part about that match was when Danny Burch got tagged in and Oni had just taken the beating of a lifetime and he tagged out. And Danny Burch kind of like went in the ring, stopped, turned around, just check on Oni looking like, dude, you're not really going to tag him in. I'm like, he just took like an absolute beat down. And then he was like, and then went and fought. And I'm like, come on, man.
But there were a couple of botches here, and the chemistry between the teams was not there. There was a lot of stuff there where it just wasn't looking really. It wasn't looking too good. Now, like, I know a lot of people crap on the Forgotten Sons. I dig their look. I think they look badass. I mean, the look is kind of the Aces and Eights look, which was taken from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But damn, man, if you were going by just pure work, this match to me was shit. But I was definitely, I was kind of shocked Forgotten Sons won, but hey, good for them. And we'll see what happens with Oni and Danny Burch. Again, I'd still prefer to see them in NXT UK, and I'd like to see them win those titles. I know they had their shot a couple weeks ago, but
Solid match that night, though.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I think it was more on the Forgotten Sons and Danny Burch just having a tism.
Right.
He just had a bad night. Everybody's entitled to a bad night.
Absolutely.
I mean, Chris Sale is arguably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball. He can't go out there and have a bad night.
Dude, Jimmy, NXT UK may be their best show. It might be.
They have the biggest star on NXT UK, and they have the hottest woman on NXT. Well, okay, maybe not. I know Corey would argue that. Well, Tony Storm's the hottest one, Bert. No, she's got like the weird expressions on her face.
Right. Yeah,
Rhea Ripley. Oh my God, Rhea Ripley's so fucking hot too. Oh my God, what I would do to her.
Well, and then
or what she could do to me. I should say.
Zaya Brookside.
Oh God, yes. Oh my God.
There are some very nice looking women. Candy Floss.
Oh, fucking Ginny. Oh my God. Let me go one-on-one with Ginny. Ooh.
Right. So, yeah, we working in Birch here eliminated again. I was a touch surprised by that. So, beyond that, so we had Mustache Mountain against Street Profits. Honestly, with this match, it was one of the few matches where I was unsure of what the outcome was going to be because seems like they're trying to now turn the Street Profits heels. We have not seen them turn heel, but this might be like that Mickey James heel turn from like a year and a half ago where they don't explain anything. They just go out there and we're bad guys now. So, but Mustache Mountain goes over here. Again, good, solid, fun match. I dug it.
And Tyler Bate got picked up by his mom after the show.
No, he's 21 now. He might be able to drive himself home. Actually, maybe Trent Seven drives him home.
His older brother, Trent Seven.
Yeah.
And finally, in the main event, we got the team of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano against
the reformed DIY. They actually had a point where they actually had the music.
Dramatic and all that stuff.
Yes, don't be dramatic. Just spit the damn thing out.
It's the Undisputed Era, and it was the team of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Solid match. They had a really good match as well. No surprise that DIY went over on this. So they made it to the Final Four. I think it's going to be DIY versus Aleister Black and the Ricochet, and then we're going to get Mustache Mountain against the Forgotten Sons.
So with this, I mean, there are many things going on here. One of which is Tommaso Ciampa is injured, and I think they did all the stuff with DIY they need to
build towards wrestling.
Build towards takeover, and but you could tell what they really wanted to do, which was have DIY go against, or at least think that they were going to have DIY versus the War Raiders, because the War Raiders came out before this match, or no, at the end of this match, and kind of stared down Ciampa and Gargano, and like, you know, the War Raiders raised their titles, and Ciampa looked at Goldie and was like, and I think if they went that direction, that would have been a fun match at TakeOver, and they would have actually been able to have the tag team championships main event the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, injuries happen, and we'll see which way they go with it. And again, we'll see what they do with the NXT championship.
Yes.
So that was more or less what NXT, outside of the original bro coming out with the Velveteen Dream and setting up a feud for the North American title.
And they're probably going to have, they're going to probably turn Dream back to a heel, like this whole flip-flopping.
Dream is not a heel or a face. The Dream is the Dream. And if the crowd cheers him, they cheer him. I think it's almost like Samoa Joe, where the crowd is cheering him, but he is in no way a face. Just like the Velveteen Dream is an arrogant prick who's all about himself. And yeah, sometimes he'll have some things where he's very face, and sometimes he does very heelish stuff. But I mean, no. Spotlight's on the Dream. Is that something a face does? No, not really. He's just the Dream.
Correct.
So, just like Steve Austin, he wasn't a face. He was, the crowd cheered him.
He was a goat, that's what he was. He wasn't a face or a heel, he was a goat.
So, I'm looking forward to see what these two can do in the ring, because Riddle, I mean, he has taken to pro wrestling like quicker than, I'm not going to say quicker than Kurt Angle, but almost just as quickly.
Not as quick as Ronda Rousey, though.
But he gets it. He's really solid in the ring, but, we've seen him against, well, I'm not going to go through all 26 names, but Dr. Denny's himself, he and Dr. Denny's had a pretty good series of matches, especially that first one. The
King Kong or Krispy Kreme himself, Cassius Ohno.
That's right. The mutilator of meatloaf.
The mutilator of meatloaf. Oh, shit. All right, so I say we do the good, the bad, and the brainless, and then we do our predictions.
Sure.
All right. So what was your good for this week?
Samoa Joe winning the U.S. title. As much as I wanted to see R-Truth continue his run as U.S. champion, he doesn't need the championship because he's R-Truth, damn it. Now, if he would have come to Richmond, Virginia, and wore the outfit again and had the U.S. title on, Jimmy, thanks for tuning in, brother.
Jimmy. Appreciate you, man.
We will see you soon. Yeah, Samoa Joe winning the title, getting his first main roster title, I thought that was pretty freaking awesome, well-deserving, and I'm sure he's going to be a great champion.
Agreed. That's also my good for this week.
All right.
What's your bad?
My bad, and this doesn't have anything really to do with wrestling more than Tommaso Ciampa having neck surgery. I hate seeing guys who have a really serious injury. I mean, the dude had a really serious injury like 2.5 years ago. It took like 9 months for him to come back. Now he's going to be out like another 5+ years. So I'm going with Tommaso Ciampa getting injured and being out for a while.
Yes. My bad for this week is, and I cannot believe I'm actually saying this, is the oversaturation of the Ricochet and Aleister Black. The fact that Ricochet and Aleister Black have been called up and have been doing like triple duty since they've been called up. They're working.
They should send them to NXT UK.
Yeah, seriously. They're working on Raw. Yeah, they're working on Raw. They're working on SmackDown, and they're on 205. Or and they're on NXT. And they're on NXT. And it's like, and I cannot believe I'm actually going to say this. The fact that when I saw them in the Dusty Rhodes Classic in the first match, I was like, God, what the fuck? I'm like, this is terrible. I'm like, they're just like, they're jamming them down our throat. We get it. There are people out there that watch all 3 shows. Obviously, if you have people out there that are like, just,
Monday Night
Raw and SmackDown Live.
Well, there's some people out there that are just Monday Night Raw, because, I mean, Raw gets 1/2 to 1 million more viewers a week than SmackDown.
So, I mean, it's terrible. And I can't believe it. I'm saying it because of the fact that I am a huge fan of Ricochet, but it's the oversaturation. And it's part of it to kind of go hand in hand with it is you just called up a whole bunch of people from NXT. You had Lars Sullivan. He's now in a milk carton because nobody knows where the fuck he is. You have freaking Heavy Machinery, who has now become kind of like a joke.
Hey,
I mean,
they
I
had
still-
that gauntlet match on Monday.
They
Was
did
fun.
have the gauntlet match,
And they ran the gauntlet.
At least they're getting all right. So they're getting booked properly. I mean, you have Nikki Cross. Where the fuck has she been? I mean, she had that match where she got eliminated in the tag team titles qualifying match to get into the elimination chamber. She hasn't really been used since. You have EC3, who's at wrestling main event. He fought Apollo Crews on main event this week. He was supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to get the call up early and be utilized properly, and they improperly utilized him.
They're using the Derek Bateman booking.
Yeah, basically. And it is sad. And all you're having Lacey Evans do is just come out, the song will play, she comes out, walks down the aisle, comes back up.
For me, that's working.
I'm adding something to that. But the fact that this is what you're doing, you're oversaturating a guy I really enjoy watching, is just, it's bothering me. So that's why it's my bad. It would have been my brainless, but I got something much better. I'm pulling it up right now.
All right.
So what's your brainless for this week?
My brainless is specifically the fact that we have 2 SmackDown women battling for the Raw women's title. It makes 0 sense. You have a whole roster of women on Monday Night Raw. There are different ways you could have booked this. You have a brand split for a reason. Like I said before, I get the fact that we could have Becky Lynch ping-ponging between the shows because she won the Royal Rumble and she is facing whoever the Raw Women's Champion is.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So that would make more sense to me than having 2 SmackDown women go for this title. It's just stupid. It's stupid beyond belief. The fact that Becky Lynch was the one that won the Royal Rumble, and now they're saying the only way she gets to be in the main event of WrestleMania is if she wins tonight.
Yep.
No. Her suspension has been lifted. She is in that match. And this whole thing, like, as far as booking and trying to get heat, they've done a good job with that, but as far as, like, they're muddling their damn brand. They're muddling their brand splits. And again, I understand it's WrestleMania season. They're trying to get the most eyeballs on this damn thing, but do something that makes fucking sense.
Agreed. A tweet from, I believe it was Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. It was Tuesday morning. Rest in peace, King Kong Bundy. The epitome of pro wrestling. I recall going to shows at Madison Square Garden with my grandparents. My grandma, Rafaela, loved him and hyped him up the whole ride in. Plenty of wrestlers risked it all that night, but I never forgot the guy with the green tongue who ate the turnbuckle. Yeah. King Kong Bundy, the guy with the green tongue who ate the turnbuckle.
I wonder who that is.
That sounds like George the Animal Steel to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a big difference. I mean, yes, I know they both had bald heads and they were kind of bigger dudes, but King Kong Bundy is much bigger than George the Animal Steel, and he's a lot less hairy.
Yeah.
And you know who sent out that fucking retarded text or tweet? Enzo Amore. You fucking retard. You have quantified what brainless is this week. I wanted to make the whole Ricochet getting oversaturated this week my brainless. I had a whole other bunch of stuff that I wanted to make my brainless this week. But you know what, Enzo? You proved to me that even you are more brainless than I am, and that's my fucking gimmick. So you know what, Enzo? Congratulations, you are the brainless one, brainless for the week.
All right, so Adam Zlani tuned in from Galveston, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually said that he foresees Roman Reigns' heel turn tonight, which would be very interesting. I mean, I remember last year when Daniel Bryan came back, I kind of thought to myself that, like, they could never turn this guy heel, and they did it incredibly well. That would be interesting if they finally did something like that with Roman Reigns. So I don't know if they'll do it just based off the fact that They just brought Roman back. Roman says he wants to be a huge, big time advocate for, leukemia and things like that. Similar to what John Cena is with the Make-A-Wish thing. It would be very tough for him to become the ultimate devil on WWE TV and still do that. You could do it behind the scenes, but he wouldn't be able to be as overt when he has, 3 million people watching Monday Night Raw where he could be an advocate for it. So, unless they found some crazy way to make like Dean Ambrose like some doctor who gave him cancer. That WWE 20 years ago, I could foresee them booking something like that.
Oh shit! They did the fucking Katie Vick storyline.
Yeah.
The choppy yo pee pee. Remember when?
So he's mentioning possibly Becky getting screwed over tonight. Honestly, I think with this, we're going to see Ronda Rousey get involved.
Yes.
But we'll get into that shortly. But yeah, that's... So Enzo Amore out-brainlessing the brainless one.
And that's hard to do because it's not just a gimmick, it's a lifestyle for me, so...
Right.
I'm not playing a part, I'm actually brainless. I mean, if I did a CAT scan, there'd be nothing up there.
Right.
But my God, you can't be that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh God, when I saw that, I fucking went off when I saw that. I was like, I was a lot nicer with this today than I was when I saw that. And obviously, if I was a fucking 40 deep right now, I would be probably throwing shit and having a tism and breaking the light fixture that we have.
Right.
So, without further ado, let's get into some Fastlane predictions.
All right. So we have Asuka defending the SmackDown Women's title against Mandy Rose, and Asuka this week, she finally got off the milk carton and made an appearance on SmackDown Live. And honestly, what Asuka did here was very heelish, but she beat the holy hell out of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. She beat the hell out of both of them.
Looks like Enzo Amore is the only one trying to out-brainless the brainless one.
Right.
Yeah.
I know they've been doing their best to get Mandy Rose over, and Mandy still kind of sort of has that feud with Naomi. Do you think that's a WrestleMania quality feud, or do you see them having somebody for Asuka?
I have my theory on who they have for Asuka. Asuka wins tonight, and she ends up fighting Lacey Evans at WrestleMania.
I can see that.
That's
you know what? I think I'll agree with that brainless one. I'm going to agree with that.
That's not even a freaking tinfoil hat theory.
No.
That's a pretty solid theory right there.
I'll go with Asuka.
It makes sense.
Because I mean, the only other outcome with if Mandy Rose won, it was because Sonya Deville interfered.
I could see that.
Then you would have Naomi going against Mandy.
But
Rose.
I'm not gonna varner myself here, so I'm just gonna go with Asuka over.
All right.
Mandy Rose.
All right, we'll go Asuka. Asuka wins this match.
And Lacey Evans comes out at the end and does her little thing. And instead of doing her thing where she does the catwalk walk back to the thing, she actually get in the ring and
do something to somebody.
Asuka.
Yeah. All right. So Fastlane is in Cleveland, or the land, as our buddy Jeff says.
Land.
And we have the Usos going against Shane and Miz. Miz is from Cleveland. The Miz's dad will be in the front row. And if we're going to get a turn tonight, I think this is the match we get it. And I think it's going to be the Miz turning on Shane.
I agree.
And because Miz doing his best to be a face, Miz is a bad guy, is the way to go. So I'm going to say Miz turns on Shane, beats the holy hell out of him, and that sets up a WrestleMania match.
Agreed.
So Usos win this match.
Yep. I got a feeling we're not going to differentiate on many matches tonight.
No.
We might have one or two differentiates, but we're going to agree on a lot of outcomes.
So, Boston Hug Connection defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Tamina and Nia Jax.
I know I've made this proclamation many times, But if that fat fucking heifer bitch, cunt bag, skank wad, piece of shit, rock cousin Nia Jax walks out with the tag team championships tonight, I will cancel the network.
All right.
So there's my prediction.
I agree. Boston Hug Connection.
I really don't see them taking the titles off of them that quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair, it's just another championship that WWE has the opportunity to turn into a hot potato, kind of like the U.S. title and the North American Championship and.
Little. Yeah, I agree. Boston Hug Connection are going to win here. Obviously, they're giving up a lot of size. It'll be, I think, a simple story to tell. Because there's, with Nia Jax, there were other stories that went along with both Bayley and Sasha. So, all right, so New Day found out while they were, I think, in India that they were going against Nakamura and Rusev today, which I don't mind makeshift tag teams. Kind of a silly story to get these two started.
Especially because you just had Nakamura and Rusev attack Aleister Black and Ricochet, and then the Hardys came out for the save to help them out. And it's just, like, if you were going to do the thing with the tag team titles, why? I mean, you could have just made it Rude and Gable going up against the Revival, and then you could have had Ricochet and Aleister Black team up with the Hardy Boys to take on Nakamura, Rusev, and The Bar. That would have made a lot more sense than putting them in the... So, whatever.
The only thing I could see here is they're trying to put Nakamura and Rusev more over, and New Day is one of the more over teams out there. But again, this is short-term booking.
New Day over because Kofi's going to go over on this match.
Oh, okay. I thought they said it was specifically going to be Big E and Xavier.
Okay, well, if that's the case...
I'm going with Nakamura and Rusev.
Oh, I didn't know that part. I didn't know they've actually said, because I'm just assuming they're just going to give Kofi a match because he was taken out of the main event-ish match like he should have been instead of that. Never mind. You know where I was going to go anyway.
Right.
No, I'll go with the New Day still. Fuck it.
All right.
I want it to be different.
New Day?
I'm not going to be mad if Nakamura and Rusev win, but I'm going to go with the New Day.
All right, so then we have Rey Mysterio against Andrade Cien Almas. You know what? Honestly, the people that are going to win are the fans, because these guys have remarkable chemistry. They have not disappointed ever. So
Aleister Black wins at life too, because his wife is down at ringside with them.
So I'm going to say Andrade wins this thing.
Same.
Andrade is the one who needs, the push, needs to get the rub.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of great matches with Mysterio and having it on a higher profile thing. I think that'd be great. If they wanted to continue this to WrestleMania, I wouldn't be upset. If that was the case, then Mysterio would have to win, but who the hell knows? But yeah, I'm going to stick with Andrade here. All right, so then we have a three-way for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Revival, who lose all the time, going against Gable and Rude and Aleister Black and the Ricochet.
Rude and Gable are in this match so that one of those two can eat the pinfall and the Revival goes over. My guess is that Ricochet hits his 1980 fucking spinny loopy-doop move that he hits. I think it's the 720 or the 640. 640. He hits the 640, and after he hits it, basically Wilder or Dawson will come in, throw him off, and score the pinfall.
That's similar to what Samoa Joe did this week?
Yeah. And I'm being really specific, too.
You are. Yeah.
Revival's going to win. Either way. Revival will win, but I just wanted to add that little extra tidbit into that because that's how I see it going down.
Yeah, I think I'll agree that Revival wins. I really wish that with the way they're doing it, I wish they would put the titles on Black and Ricochet. But
and the only reason they're not going to do that is because of the fact that they're still behind what they actually shot for the
Well, on top
Dusty
of the
Rhodes
fact
Classic. If they won the tag team titles, they would have to somehow show up for the Dusty Rhodes Classic with the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Well, besides that, I don't think they've made a decision on what show they want them on.
Right.
So, with the way they've been booking this women's title, Raw women's title, I guess they could go on any show anyway, but this would supposedly lock them into Raw.
I kind of like the way they're doing it with the tag team championships for the women's. That's how they should do it for the men's too. They should just be able
Just
to
have one title
yes.
or one pair of titles.
Yeah, they should have like one set of one set of tag team titles for the men's, one set of tag team titles for the women, and they can fight anybody on any show.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's really not enough tag teams in NXT UK. That's why you can get guys like Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch to actually fight for those tag team titles. I wouldn't be upset if we actually got Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel to fight for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships either.
Right.
So
anyway, we have the Shield supposedly one last time going against Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley, and Lio Rush in their corner.
Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta.
Shield.
That's what I'm going with. No turns either.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. As much as I think McIntyre deserves more than this. I think eventually, though, like with the fact the Shield's breaking up, it doesn't mean, I think maybe this is one of those things. Shield wins the match, but at the end of this, they get beat the hell out of by McIntyre, Lashley, and just because. And just so they look more badass.
I also see Braun Strowman somehow getting involved, and it's going to set up for Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Told you,
We'll see. We'll see.
I might have to take a nappy poo before the pay-per-view so I could actually stay up and watch the whole thing.
So, all right. We have Daniel Bryan against the Cupcake Eater, Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan's going to win this match.
Yes.
Because, just having Owens come out of nowhere, get inserted into this thing, he's looked pretty decent in the ring, but did he even have a singles match yet? I think it's all been tag stuff.
No, he had a singles match on SmackDown this week.
Oh, yeah, he
went up against
Captain Wedgie.
The Wedgie Master himself.
But even that match was short because they had a fuck finish.
Yeah.
So, although I did like the way they ended that match where Bryan just is absolutely berating Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens goes and
beats the shit out of him.
Beats the crap out of him, and then Bryan just randomly walks into the ring and just.
Daniel Bryan had the line of the night the week, and that says a lot because R-Truth has been money. The fact that he goes, and how it is with the main event for me at Fastlane, he goes, I went from the guy who promotes pancakes to fighting the guy who eats pancakes. And I was like, fuck you, Kevin Owens. You got the cakes part right. It's a cup, not a pan.
Right.
Fat piece of shit. Fuck you, Kevin Owens.
All right.
I hope you have double knee surgery again.
All right. So we have Charlotte Flair going against Becky Lynch. This thing's setting up for, the white meat baby face, even though she's not a baby face, really. Becky Lynch going over in this match. Charlotte has been a good job of being a condescending bitch for the last few weeks. She's been doing great. And I'm sure they're going to play up the whole knee injury. I think Ronda Rousey will get involved in this thing because Ronda was very specific when she got into the ring with Stephanie McMahon a couple weeks ago. You know what match the people want to see. I'm not here for anything less than the match that I want to happen and that they want to happen. She is going to make sure that Becky Lynch wins this match. So,
Maybe. Here's my tinfoil hat theory. Ronda Rousey does get involved in this match, but instead of beating the shit out of, because I was thinking maybe having her beat the shit out of Becky and Becky wins by disqualification, hence setting up for them to fight in the triple threat at WrestleMania. What if Ronda Rousey comes out there, beats the holy hell out of freaking Charlotte Flair, and she can't wrestle at WrestleMania. That's one way you can eliminate Charlotte Flair from the equation. That's one way where you can set it up where it's Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, and everybody gets what they want. Everybody gets the match that they need. Everybody gets the match that they love.
I don't agree that that's going to happen because why would you take your second or third top female and just leave her off WrestleMania?
Who's anything about leaving her off WrestleMania? Just take her out to the point where she might not be able to compete, and it's like, oh, there, just being the Mae Young.
There's nothing for her.
Battle Royal. Everyone the Battle Royal.
I hate saying this. She's better than that.
I still think Braun Strowman's going to win.
What they should have done is have her rematch against Asuka for the title.
Yeah.
In my view. They could still do that, but they're not going to. It's going to be a triple threat match. Ronda Rousey wants to face Becky Lynch, and the way they booked this thing, at least in my view, stupidly, is that Ronda can't get in unless she wins this match.
Okay, so
that's the end.
All right, then I'm going to change mine. I'm going to say Becky Lynch wins, but she gets the hockey assist from Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
There it is. So I feel like we've touched base on everything.
Yeah, we did.
Did we talk about we pay homage to King Kong Bundy?
We did.
Did we talk about the Ronda Rousey video?
Damn straight we did.
Talk about JR to AEW.
Yep.
Anderson and Gallows.
Yep.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
WrestleMania 36 location.
Yep.
Did we discuss AJ Styles for a brief bit?
We did.
Did we talk about how Samoa Joe won the U.S. Championship?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Did we do the good, the bad, the brainless?
Damn straight.
Did we make our Fastlane predictions?
Yeah, we've covered it all, damn it.
I don't think so. I think
All right.
there's one more important thing that we need to do before it's all said and done.
What is that?
Oh, you don't. Oh, you didn't
Oh,
know?
no.
You better ask her to call somebody, because today, on March 10th of 2019, at an astonishing, insurmountable, unbelievable 1,505 days, F.M. Mark's Hall of Famer Curtis Axel is still alive in the 2015 Royal Rumble. I really thought Tommy was going to tune in just in time to watch his favorite part of the
he tuned out.
He saw that we were probably getting close, and he's like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna do the thing now, aren't they?"
Toby, we will get into Double or Nothing at some point in the future, but we are still 2.5 months out of that, and we will get into that.
And we're probably
but thank you for tuning in.
We're definitely gonna get the show too, by the way. We're gonna get
that'll be coming, but for all you out there,
make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Periscope, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube at the letter T, the letter H, the letter E, the letter F, the letter N, MARKS.
make sure you like the Daily Wrestling Entertainment page on Facebook too. That's where we do our show live and
Each and every week.
Yep. So
For episode 122 of the FM Marks podcast,
I'm Jay
I'm Brainless Bob. Make sure you mark out.
with your guac out. See everybody. Enjoy Fastlane tonight. We will see you later.